What's going on, y'all? So we just gonna jump right into this conversation today. I spoke about this on my live, yesterday, and I just wanted to, make a video about it as well. Recently, I've been getting a lot of questions. People been asking me things like, how is it your channel isn't bigger yet? You feel what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. You feel me? I appreciate that. And when that question is asked to me, I'm not gonna lie, I be asking myself the same thing sometimes, because when you putting in work, when you showing up, when you actually care about what it is you doing, you expect something to come from it, right? But one thing I really had to understand is everything that's worth people appreciating takes time. You feel me? And I feel like a lot of people, skip over that part. We live in a world where everything is fast. You know what I mean? You post today, you expect results tomorrow. You know what I mean? You drop a video, you expect it to go crazy. And when it don't, you start questioning everything. You know what I mean? You start thinking like, maybe, I'm not good enough. Maybe this is not for me. Maybe I should switch it up. But listen, I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you. You know what I mean? It's not that you're not good. You feel me? It's just that, you just now starting. You know what I mean? It's still early. You feel me? And being early in a game can be uncomfortable because you put in an effort that nobody really sees yet. You know what I mean? And you building something and it don't look like nothing yet. You know what I mean? It don't look like nothing yet, but eventually it'll turn into something. You showing up, you feel like nobody's watching. But that's the part, you feel me? I feel like that matters the most, you feel me? Because this whole thing is bigger than just views, you know what I mean? It's really about the people, you feel me? It's about building real connections, real conversation, you know what I mean? Real support. And you can't rush that, you feel me? You can't rush that. You can't force people to care. You can't force people to tap in, you know what I mean? That comes from you as the creator being consistent. That comes from time. That comes from really showing up all the time, every day. You know what I mean? So instead of worrying about, why I'm not a bigger channel yet, I just started focusing on who's here right now. You know what I mean? Who's here right now? Because the people who's here right now is the people that matters. You know what I mean? The ones that comment, the ones that pull up, the ones that support, even when it's small, you feel me? I look at this as, the foundation. You know what I mean? This is really the foundation. And I'm going to be real, you feel me? Word of mouth is powerful. You feel me? Word of mouth is really powerful. One real person that believe in what it is you're doing could bring in more. You know what I mean? And that's how real growth happens. You know what I mean? And it's not overnight, you know what I mean? But over time. And yeah, sometimes it do get frustrating. You know what I mean? Sometimes you look around, you see other people growing faster and you start thinking like, damn, what is it I'm missing? But everybody's path is different. You know what I mean? Everybody's timing is different. And what's meant for you gonna hit when it's supposed to hit. You know what I mean? So now I don't really stress it, the same way. You know what I mean? I still put in the work. I still show up. I still care. You know what I mean? But I understand that I'm building something. You know what I mean? And building something real, that takes time. You know what I mean? I'm not chasing viral. I'm not chasing quick numbers. You know what I mean? I'm building something that people can actually connect to, because I understand that I'm not the only person going through it. You know what I mean? The people that's watching me is going through the same thing I'm going through. You feel me? That's connection. That's something people can relate to. You know what I mean? And when I come on this platform and I speak on it, on these topics, and I tell people the journey and how hard it is, I feel like people appreciate that. You know what I mean? So if you watching this right now, just know, you know what I mean, if you putting in the work, if you staying consistent, even if it don't look like it yet, you know what I mean, it is working. You know what I mean? You just really early on in the stage, you know what I mean? And when it finally clicks, it's gonna make sense on why everything is taking so long. You know what I mean? So don't stop. You know what I mean? And think about the people that's already here. You know what I mean? Think about the people that's already here. It only take one person to, tell somebody else about you. You feel me? And then that person could tell somebody else about you. You feel me? Think about who's here. Think about the people that you creating content for. What is it you offering? You know what I mean? Why do you feel like people should stop and tap into what it is you saying? You know what I mean? It's nothing more expensive in this world than time. You know what I mean? So why should people spend their hard-earned time that they cannot get back on what it is you are putting out, what it is you doing? You know what I mean? So yeah, enjoy the process. Have fun with the content that you're creating, but also understand that, you know what I mean, you also have to be of service. What service are you bringing to the table? You know what I mean? So once I feel like people make that connection and they understand how to, you know, put that out to the world, everything will definitely fall into place. So for me, I understand my channel may be growing slower than a lot of other people, but I know once, you know, it do hit, it's gonna hit. Once I once I continue to stay consistent, like I always say, I measure my success over time. I could only imagine where I'm gonna be a year from now. You know what I mean? And I want to just take this time out to say I appreciate everybody who's been riding with me along this crazy journey. You know what I mean? And I want y'all to know that we in this together. You know what I mean? This is why I appreciate y'all on levels y'all don't even understand, because, you know what I mean, when I get on this platform and I'm talking about these topics and these situations, I understand that, you know what I mean, I'm not alone. But at the same time, I want y'all to understand that y'all not alone either. You know what I mean? We in this together. You know what I mean? So don't stop, keep creating. You know what I mean? And things is gonna be slow. You know what I mean? It's not gonna always be viral. It's not gonna always, you know, get what you expect. But as long as you continue to do what it is you doing and you be of service to the people, and you know, just put the people that support you first and understand your purpose, everything is gonna fall into place. You know what I mean? So if you still here, I appreciate you. Thank you for taking this time out to just listen to me ramble as always. You know what I mean? But if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, leave a comment, and until next time, I'll see y'all again on the next video. Yeah.